Hi there. I want to talk about why I don't eat a vegan diet. Now, I first of all don't feel that I owe anybody an explanation about my diet, but I do get these comments pretty much every time I post anything food related. If I show animal products, I get comments that why don't you eat a vegan diet? You should eat a vegan diet, and that kind of thing. Especially people who are familiar with me as a feminist, and they say it's the only way for a feminist to eat because the animal products industry is exploitative of female animals. So I want to talk a little bit about all of that, give you a little personal background about my diet and stuff, and then talk about the ethics and stuff. So just a little background about me. I don't eat vegan and I have not for many years, but I did for a little over 2 years eat a 100% completely vegan diet. I lived actually in a vegan household when I was 18 to 19 years old, and I did get a serious illness. Now, I will not say it's anything more than correlation, not causation, but I was seriously ill. I went back to eating a diet that was well rounded, included meat and dairy, and I did heal. So that's completely anecdotal. And again, I don't even know myself. I would not blame the diet for that, nor would I tell anyone to not eat a vegan diet. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But just make sure you're getting all the nutrition that you need. So I have done it. I have been a vegan, but I am not now. I have a few things going on with my diet now. After I was vegan, I developed an allergy to legumes. It's a real allergy. So if you don't know what legumes are, it's any kind of beans, peas, peanuts, soy, tofu, chickpeas, hummus, etc. I am allergic to legumes, so I cannot eat them. And I am also trying to eat an adequate amount of protein because I'm very into fitness and health and bodybuilding and those kinds of things. And if you can't eat legumes and you don't eat animal products, where's your protein going to come from? There are things like quinoa, which is like a total superfood and something I eat regularly and am passionate about eating. I'm a huge quinoa fan. The problem with the remaining foods is in order to get enough protein from them, you also have to intake like an insane amount of fiber. It's like not going to work for me to be eating like tons and tons and tons and tons of fiber. So that's where I'm at. In order to get enough protein and not being able to eat legumes, I have to eat animal products. So what do? I eat ethically sourced animal products, and I've talked about this many times. I'm a huge proponent of getting certified humane eggs, dairy, and your other proteins. When I eat meat, I only eat free-range grass-fed beef, and I only eat free-range chicken and chicken that was fed an organic diet. So I am really picky about that kind of stuff. So to say, oh, you eat animal products, therefore you don't care about animal welfare is not true at all. Those things do not follow. I don't eat pork because it's next to impossible to find ethically sourced pork in the US. If I could, I would, but I can't. I can't get that where I am. Sure, I love bacon as much as the next person, but I have not had bacon in years. I've not had any pork in years, okay? I hate being accused of like, oh, you don't care about animal welfare. Like, I very much do. And I go out of my way to buy products that are local, free range, grass fed, certified humane, etc. And that's how I have a healthy diet. So I I want to talk also about, this idea that as feminists we should eat a vegan diet and stuff. And I don't agree that it's a feminist issue. at all. And I see that as the kind of creep that happens in feminism to cover other issues. Animal welfare is a separate issue from feminism. They're actually two separate like schools of activism, I guess you could say. To say, oh, feminism should take on animal welfare as one of its like core things, it's just you as an individual can care about two things and do separate kinds of activism, and that is fine. To say that every feminist should also be an animal rights activist is putting a burden on feminists from something that's ultimately a distraction from the core cause of feminism. Another example I'll give about that is prison abolition. There are a lot of feminists who believe that prison abolition should be one of the core causes of feminism. But that's actually something that benefits men overwhelmingly. And, it's like, oh, taking feminist energy and putting it towards something that's not feminism, but saying that that's under the umbrella of feminism. Hopefully I'm making sense. But anyways, I think there's one final thing that I want to say that is very feminist related, which is you really need to think about the ethics of food production in general. And animal welfare is something we should absolutely care about, even those of us who do eat animals, or maybe especially those of us who do eat animals. But we need to also think about human welfare. And that is something, if feminists want to be concerned about what we're eating in our diet, we should be concerned about the human ethics of food production. And I will give one example, which is cashews. Cashews are almost exclusively produced in a way that exploits the labor of human women and sometimes girls. They're produced in a way where there's widespread injury, suffering, terrible treatment of women who produce cashews. And yet you would see a lot of vegan recipes include cashews. Like, that's a pretty common food. And just because you're eating a vegan diet does not mean you're eating an ethical diet, like, at all. You're just eating a diet that's devoid of any potential animal abuse. But do you know where your food comes from? Do you know what conditions the farmers labored in? Were they paid fair wages? Were they treated fairly, etc.? Unless you can answer that, like, please don't come browbeating me about the ethics of the diet that I eat. Obviously, like, this topic gets me kind of riled up a little bit, but because I just don't think that women should feel coerced when it comes to our diets. I think it's something we should be able to speak freely about, eating a healthy diet and not feel shamed or browbeaten about the diets that we eat. And I do feel strongly about that. So I just wanted to say a few words about it. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.